Guys, we have a very fun video that we're about to watch. It is Katie Halper getting on Laura Ingram's show to talk about Ilhan Omar and the whole tweets and the anti-Semitic accusations that have been brought out. And Ken, unless you have anything else, let's hear it.
Yeah, let's check out this video and get the full context about really what led to this whole discussion and these accusations towards U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar.
And let's say very quickly before we start, Fox News is used to lefties that, how shall I say, have no spine. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
In the Democratic coalition on issues around questions of race and anti-Semitism.
Katie, you say that Omar's comments are both not anti-Semitic, and you didn't have a problem, I imagine, with the first comments.
No, I mean, I have a problem with hearing her as an anti-Semite. She said something, this is how anti-Semitic it was, apparently. She said something that Thomas Friedman, major supporter of Israel, has said. Thomas Friedman said at the New York Times that an applause that Bibi Netanyahu received was paid for by the Israel lobby. An Israel lobby, any lobby is a lobby. A lobby uses money to influence politics and politicians. That's what AIPAC does. AIPAC wants you to know that. AIPAC knows that. Everyone who donates to AIPAC knows that. This is literally stating a fact. There's nothing anti-Semitic in there. What is anti-Semitic, though, if you wanted to talk about anti-Semitic tropes and playing into those, is what Kevin McCarthy, who along with Donald Trump is going after Ilhan Omar. And what he said in a tweet that he deleted was that that Steyer and Bloomberg and Soros were buying the election. Now, that is an anti-Semitic trope that he definitely played into. He deleted the tweet, but he never apologized.
So billionaires can't buy an election then. I get billionaires who are liberal. That's cool. But if you're a conservative, you're spending too much money.
Wait,
all right, Katie.
Trump,
Katie, Katie, take a breath. Take a breath. Let it out. It's okay. Take a breath, Katie. No one can understand if you talk over me, sweetie.
Crazy. I get annoyed by hypocrisy and Islamophobia.
Well, I get annoyed when people talk over it because our viewers can't actually hear what we're saying. So I want them to hear you, and then I want them to hear everybody. Okay, Matt didn't interrupt you, so try to just take a breath.
This is exactly what we come to expect from Fox News. You have a host bring on someone to explain someone that they already have a point of view on. That guest, Katie, has, I think, undid what they were expecting, because she was able to go there and show, hey, not only is this non-anti-Semitic, she's speaking about lobbying and lobbying influence, and I believe AIPAC traffics in about $100 million of donations. It's not a small amount at all. But how Fox, in fact, is the one that dog whistles constantly. They have every dog whistle you can think of. They have the Jewish dog whistle, they have the black dog whistle, they have the Hispanic dog whistle. Anything that's not older white male, they have that dog whistle. They have it multiple shapes, multiple sizes, different qualities, different cases. But in this case, they weren't able to just get their narrative out without having to fight. Katie was doing a great job in fighting back. It was just an annoyance how Kelly dealt with it by saying, stop interrupting me so I can hear you speak better. But that's what happened. But I think this goes to this bigger point that Fox News is saying that if you say anything about money and Jewish people, you by definition are anti-Semitic. But it's fine to call out globalism and all these other buzzwords that you see on Alex Jones' show and Fox News all the time about, oh, these scary people, they're Jewish, but we use different words because we have 5 different dog whistles for this. So they bring up Soros, the exact same thing. So she called out their hypocrisy, and she got shut down because it's Fox. You can't do propaganda well when someone's refuting it hard in front of you. So
yeah. So here's the thing we got to take away from this is that this is finally we're seeing a U.S. representative calling out the problem with American politics, and that is money in politics. We talk about this time and time again on our show, and this is where we have to remember that let's just ignore the AIPAC lobby for one moment. Any lobby group in the United States can buy our elections and can buy our elected officials. The Democratic and Republican establishment know all these groups. And I'm just going to name 3 right off the bat. The prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex, the pharmaceutical industry. These and there's numerous more, like Wall Street, the big banks, and corporations, all have the ability to buy our politicians. It isn't just
in a sense. Yeah. If you were to say it another way, it might be all about the Benjamins.
Yeah, and it's a lot of money. And when these lobby groups donate to these politicians will then go onto the floor of the United States House and Senate, including also on the state level too, and propose and even pass legislation that their said lobby group told them to do. They give them money, and then they do what the lobby group says. And so when we have somebody like U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar actually call out the system and call out one lobby group in particular, what does the neoliberal media do? And I'm including Fox News because they're part of the neoliberal establishment. They get defensive and they use the dog whistles like Daniel said, and they start going after these people who are challenging the system and not allowing their guests to really finish their final statements. I mean, none of it's anti-Semitic. The problem is that we have a corrupt system that can be bought and sold by anyone. Anyone with money can buy our system. And that should anger the Democratic voters, Republican voters, independent voters, you name it. Because so long as we have money in politics, we're going to have a corrupt neoliberal system.
So now I want to add on, there's a lot of optimism that I see within this. In what exists, what that represented, what that interaction, what had to happen for that interaction to happen. First, you had to have a Muslim American woman get elected. That's big right there. Mm-hmm. Second, you had to have a progressive movement that's strong enough and supported enough and has good enough speakers that someone like Katie couldn't even get on Fox News to begin with. Of course, I'm pretty sure she won't be returning, maybe not by her own choice, but you know how Fox is. So you have that happening, which is hard, and now you have Fox unable to deal with a Democrat with a spine and points and facts. It's very difficult. I remember, what was his name that said, it's your facts, not feelings. Fox may need to learn that or relearn that or something. I'm not really sure. But the point is, there's more of this that's going to happen. And the very fact that the military-industrial complex in AIPAC was even critiqued a year ago would have been unthinkable. And today, we have Tulsi Gabbard hitting the military-industrial complex, and we have Katie and Omar hitting AIPAC. Mm-hmm. This is something we would have not seen before, and now it exists. So even though they're fighting back, that just means that we've gotten to this point where we used to be this far apart. Now we're here, and one person can jump up and touch them, and they don't know what to do about it.
And that's what happens when you stand up, fight back, and get involved. And this is where we always say, if you want to fight for that better future, now's the time for all of us. Whether, look, across the board, Americans don't like our corrupt system. We got to get money out of politics. It's when you poll any American, the one problem that they have is how corrupt our system is and how easily our politicians can be bought. This is something we can all rally around and get rid of money in politics, and also at the same time to hold those accountable who allowed the system to be built in the first place. All right. Other than that, guys, peace, and let's all do what we can to build a better future.
Cool. Okay.
Boom.
Let me see if he got back to me yet.